This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about how no contact works for those of you who are in no contact, but you're losing hope. And after the fifth point, I'm going to read 2 examples that have just come to me recently of where it's worked. So the first on the list of how no contact works is that you can't see them and they can't see you. And when you can't see someone, especially if this person was regularly involved in your life and you two shared intimacy and you had good memories with this person, then you experience something that I've started calling substitute recall. It's basically where this person has dropped out of your life so quickly and you were used to them. And so your brain, in order to try to explain it, in order to try to make sense of it, will picture them, think of them, and remember stories and things that you shared with them more than it would if you were still there. And the reason for that is because it doesn't make sense that this person was there and then gone. And so it's like a coping mechanism. And yet it actually can work in reverse if you stay in no contact. But that's part of what they experience when they get out of the relief stage. And I will link in the description below to my video, Stages Your Ex Goes Through During No Contact. But after the relief stage is when this really starts to hit them and they start to experience this substitute recall where they're thinking of you more often. And so no contact actually helps your ex to think of you. If you are constantly there and you're constantly in contact, there's no need for them to think of you because you are right there. If anything, they imagine you not being there because that's what they think they want. And so you're standing in their way. And that's what it feels like. But if you're not standing in their way, there's nothing to make them wish they were even further away. And so they don't go as far away. And that's where they can go into this state where they're recreating you because you've disappeared. And it's really interesting. And I've talked to a lot of people who've gone through it, and it makes no contact work even better. Number 2, you staying in no contact demonstrates strength. And you can do this. Demonstrate how strong you are. It's attractive. This kind of strength is always attractive. And not only does it show them that you can live without them, that you can thrive without them, that you believe in yourself, that you can thrive without them, that you can live your best life without them. But it also gives evidence that they could lose you. And this is sometimes a point of contention because people will say, why do they care if they lose me? They broke up with me. It doesn't matter to them, clearly. But they didn't lose you. When they broke up with you, they were in control. When you're in control, you're not the one losing. To lose something, it has to be out of your control. And so they have to actually see you stay away, and that you are strong enough to stay away. And what that tells them is that if they wanted you back, there's a strong possibility that they couldn't get you back. And that's where they can start to feel that loss. And that's what can often feel so hopeless in someone in your situation is that loss because you have no control over the situation. And so we want your ex to feel a little bit of hopelessness, or at least to wonder, is it hopeless? You see, that's where their brain can start to be preoccupied with you, with what's going on. Could they get you back? Was the breakup the right decision? And it introduces doubt. It's a powerful, beautiful thing, and you need to stick with this. Number 3 of how no contact works. It prevents attraction from falling further. Because if they broke up with you, attraction, some form of it had fallen. Usually it's emotional attraction. Sometimes physical attraction can fall. Kind of depends on the situation. But if you stay away, it prevents attraction from falling further. Because whatever the situation, the state that you are in is not as attractive to them as it once was. And there's all kinds of reasons why that could be the case. But in this state that you're in, if you're around them a lot, you're actually just further pushing attraction down. And you're making it to where, as I mentioned in the previous point, to where you stand in their way of getting what they think they want. And that makes you far less attractive because what they want is on the other side of you. What they want is the opposite of you. And you don't want that to be a situation. So stay out of this. Leave them to rectify the situation in their mind and have to figure this out. And as you stay away and your attraction rises, it will often cause them to really take a serious look at the question of if they made a mistake. And that's what you want. You want them to be able to reconsider it. And if all they can think about is trying to get away from you, they can't reconsider it because they're so focused on the other side of you. Number 4, no contact allows a path back. And that's what's difficult to get people to understand, is that when you're in contact with them, when you're around them, when you're making this difficult on them, when you're complaining, when you're expressing your pain, showing your hurt, it actually makes it more difficult for them to come back. And the reason for this is that even if they start thinking about it and have some positives and think that maybe they'll give it another try, you have now placed a hurdle in the way. And that is that they think, well, if we do get back together, what if it doesn't work out again? Because they're not 100% sure either way. But if they think that they're losing you and they're feeling this doubt and they miss you, they remember experiences you two went through, they're willing to make a decision to move forward with you and come back to you and try this again. If they get to that point, the negative that could stop them from doing it is that they think, if it doesn't work out and I have to break up with them again, I have to go through all that drama again, all that difficulty, them begging, them constantly just asking me about it and staying when I don't want them to be there. And they think it will just be so difficult if I have to do this again. You don't want them to think that. You're showing them that if they do break up with you, that you can stay away, that you can give them the breakup. And so they feel like there's less risk, which is very important. You don't want to put additional hurdles, because a lot of times they're confused, they're struggling with the situation, and they're thinking that they want to try this again. But if there are enough negatives, it will at least delay them and they can talk themselves out of it or allow friends to talk them out of it. And so you don't want them to feel there's risk and potential difficulty to coming back. And by staying in no contact, you are showing them that there's not. Number 5 in the list of how no contact works. It applies pressure in the right direction. So when you stay in contact, and you bug them, you pester them, you plead, you won't leave them alone, you're actually putting pressure that's making them go the other way. You're pushing. And so they are getting further away from you, trying basically to escape you to this life that they think that they want. But when you go into no contact, there's no need for them to go the other direction. And since it appears you are going the other direction, they feel safe. They feel that there's no problems with them moving a little closer in your direction, even if that is that they start toying with the idea that they want to be friends. And this happens a lot when this is going on. They will reach out, hey, can we just be friends? Because they're feeling that distance and they're not wanting so much distance from you because you're not pushing them away. Now, as you hopefully know from watching my videos, I don't suggest that you become friends with them or that you take this lowball offer of friendship. That will not help you get your ex back. But that's another video, and I do have videos on that. But it applies pressure from the other side towards you. It's more of a pull, actually. That's where we get attraction, is that attraction is a pulling force because you're not actually on the other side of them pushing, and you're not pushing them away. And so that's how no contact can be very powerful, is that it keeps them from getting too far away so that they don't have to make up as much ground to get to the point where they want to get back into your life. They want you back in their life. But they don't always go about it the right way. Like I said, they may suggest friendship, but it gets them moving the right direction. And a lot of times they don't suggest friendship. A lot of times they start talking to you and they want to see you. And this is where they're thinking that they want to get back together. And I see it a lot. Does it work 100% of the time? It does not, but it works a lot. And if that wasn't true, I wouldn't tell you that. And now I'm going to read a couple of examples of how no contact works, because I get messages every day where people tell me that it works, and they're thanking me for telling them about it and talking about it a lot, because I do bring it up a lot, and that's because you need to hear it. So I'm going to read you a couple of examples. So I'm reading this off of my phone. After 2 months apart, following your advice to the letter, his name, let's say Bill, is back in my life for good. We are now looking for a home to buy, and I've had to make him promise not to propose yet as I'm not ready, but it's all he wants to do. I even told him about you, and he's amazed and overjoyed that I fought so hard for him when he feared that I wouldn't. So thank you for everything you've done for me, not just for helping Bill and me find our way back to one another, but for making me a better, stronger woman and partner. I will carry these lessons with me always. And it's interesting there that she even told him that she was watching my videos and that she was using this no contact rule that she heard from me. And a lot of people think that their ex is going to respond poorly, or that it's going to take away all the attraction that was built up. And while it's not something that I encourage you to tell them very soon after reuniting, If the work of it has been done and they're back together with you and they want to be there, then they are glad that you fought for them. They're in a position to where they can appreciate it. Whereas when they break up with you, they're not. That's why you trying to do things just puts them off. But you see, once you get back together and they love you and they're glad that you two are together, then that kind of thing is actually very good. It's great to know the other person has put in effort and loves you like that. Of course it is. And the next one I'm going to read is from a guy who got his girl back with the no contact rule. Coach Lee, I didn't think she would come back, and it hurt so bad to think about that. All I did was loop your videos day and night, it seemed. There were times I thought I was going to break down and contact her, but your words had been ingrained in me, and I knew that contacting her wasn't an option if I wanted her back. I can't express my shock and joy when she actually came to my house last night and sobbed as she begged me to take her back and kept telling me how sorry she was. I have no words except to say that no contact works, and thank you for talking about it so often. I hope this video has been encouraging, and I hope you will stay strong in no contact.